over time somewhat. So I'll just put my guitar to rest here for now. And if you have any questions, you can answer a few questions like Istagosthi. Yes, Prabhu, what's your name?
My name is Siddha.
Siddha.
You touched upon the subject matter of Samasti Guru and Vyasti Guru. And can you please elaborate a little more?
The Samasti Guru is the Akhanda Guru Tattva, the original Guru Tattva, Balaram Prabhu, or Balaram in the form of Nityananda Guru. And the disciple, then the power of Balaram comes into this world, or the power of Nityananda Guru comes into this world in the form of an individual Vaishnava. So any high-level pure Vaishnava, they are our Gurus. But the one from whom we receive Diksha Mantra is the Diksha Guru. And then the Vaishnavas from whom we receive further instruction in bhajan, how to go deeply into bhajan. And by hearing especially the very beautiful pastimes of Krishna and Rasakatha, we understand, we come to realize the relationships of Radhika and Krishna and all the places of Braj and all of their associates and how to render service and the moods of each service. So this is the Bhajan Shiksha Guru. Sometimes the Diksha Guru and the Shiksha Guru may be the same person because they are functions. Understand? So let's say someone may have a very qualified Diksha Guru, but he has the disciple is not established in Sambandha Jnana. By the mercy of his Guru, he realizes Krishna. And then after that, that same Guru, now the function of Shiksha Guru is working through him, and then he teaches him how to do bhajan. Whereas in another case, it may be that someone receives Diksha from a Guru, and then that Guru leaves this world. So then, the Guru Tattva, the Akhanda Guru Tattva, will appear in the form of another Vyasti Guru. And that Vyasti Guru, if that person's Diksha is not mature, he'll continue to complete the process of Diksha for him until he realizes his relationship with Krishna. And perhaps that Diksha Guru, that Shiksha Guru may disappear, but he's still doing the function, completing the function of the Diksha Guru. And then later he may meet another Vaishnava who becomes his Bhajan Shiksha Guru when he's qualified to enter into Bhajan. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, just as it is said, Diksha Guru is Krishna Roop and Shiksha Guru is Krishna Swarup, just as there's no difference between Krishna Roop and Krishna Swarup, the form of Krishna and the personality of Krishna. So one should never see difference between his Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. Just as a person may think that Krishna's form and Krishna's qualities are different, it's an offense to Krishna. So similarly, because the Diksha Guru is Krishna Rupa and Shiksha Guru is Krishna Swarup, it's an offense to see a difference between the Diksha Guru and the Shiksha Guru. Because Akhanda Guru Tattva, actually the Guru Tattva is indivisible. This is one reality. But it may appear in different Vyasti manifestations. But a Sadguru is not always available to everyone. Brahmanda Brahmate Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti-lata Bij. Brahmanda Brahmate means wandering throughout the universes. Kaun means some. Bhagyavan Jeev. Those Jivas all are very fortunate. In other words, they have accumulated Sukriti over many lifetimes. And then in that life they meet Sadguru and they receive Bhakti-lata Bij. This Bhakti-lata Bij is Krishna Seva Bhasana, the desire to serve Krishna, but not a generic desire, a specific desire. So the Bhakti-lata Bij is actually the Ruchi, the stage of Ruchi. First Shraddha, Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anatani Vritti, Nishta, then Ruchi. When the faith is imbued with a particular taste, I want to serve Krishna, like Madhya Shoda, or I want to serve Krishna like Suba, or I want to serve Krishna like Rupa Manjari. When the faith is imbued with a particular taste, that is actually the Bhakti Lata Bij. So from Shraddha up to Nishtha is actually not Bhakti-tattva. It's only Shraddha-tattva. It is the development of faith from soft faith to firm faith. And then from Ruchi, actually Bhakti-tattva begins. Because what is Bhakti? What is Bhakti? It is the action of Samvit and Hladini. It's the action of Samvit and Hladini. So, Hladini is pleasure, and Samvit gives realization. So, Bhakti, Parishanu, Bhavo, Virakti, Anyata, Traika, Chaisa, Trika, Eka, Kala. Three things come at once. There is Bhakti, that is the taste, and the Parish Anubhav, realization of Krishna and detachment from the world. So, Bhakti is real Sravanam implies darshan. If you are hearing, and as you are hearing, you are seeing the subject in the heart, that is hearing. Kirtan means when you are singing kirtan, then there is darshan in the heart. Because Trika Eka Kala, three things happen at the realization, taste, realization and detachment come at the same time. So this is actually Bhakti-tattva. But Bhakti-tattva is very deep. In the stage of Shraddha, Bhajana, Kriya, Anata, Nivritti even, the devotee cannot clearly grasp what is Bhakti-tattva. You know, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in the beginning, Rupa Goswami Pad says, Swalpa pi ruchya evasyad Bhakti-tattva avabodhikaha. If one attains a little ruchi, that means after Nishtha, one begins to enter into ruchi, then one can understand Bhakti-tattva. Before that, everything is not clear. And so there are different types of Harikatha. There are different levels of Harikatha. Different ways of presenting Siddhanta. There is a Siddhanta for the Prakrita Bhakta, for the Kanishta Adhikaris. There's another type of Harikatha and Siddhanta for the Madhyam Adhikaris. And another for the Uttam Adhikaris and for the Mahabhagavatas. Like this. And this is why Bhakti is Anugatyamai. Bhakti always has to be performed under guidance. Because as we practice, our adhikar goes up. Eligibility increases. And then when you become more qualified, then you have to hear the katha which is relevant to that adhikar. Understand? Just like if you go to school, if you go to high school, the first year in high school, then when you finish the first year, what do? Then you go to the second year. You don't stay in the first year and hear all the same classes again. And then the next year, hear all the same classes again. This is not the process. You have to go to the next year, and in the next year, there are different classes. And in the next year, there are different classes, and then you graduate, then you have to go to college. And there are different classes, and each year there are different classes. Because our eligibility by practice should improve, and then we'll have to hear something more. And this is why it said in Srimad Bhagavatam, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata tadyoshnat asapavarga vartmani shraddha rati bhakti. Shraddha means the stage of Shraddha sadhana, Rati means the stage of Bhav, and Bhakti means Prem. Anukramisyati, one after the other. But what should you do in each stage? Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. Always associate with pure Vaishnavas. They will look, they will diagnose our adhikar, and then they'll speak in such a way that is right for us to go to the next level. Otherwise, we cannot progress without association. Don't think that a little association is okay. And then, Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoi Sadhu Sangha. Prema Bhakti Janme Tena Puna Mukhya Anga. What does it mean? You know Bengali?
A little bit, because I don't have Hindi.
Yeah.
The root of the birth of Krishna Bhakti is association.
Yes.
With the devotee.
First line. Now the second line.
I can repeat that.
Prema Bhakti Janme Tena Puna Mukhya Anga.
For developing a prema, this is the most important element to associate with sadhu.
No, the meaning is that sadhu sangha is the root cause of attaining bhakti. And even when you attain Prem, even when you get Prem, then the Sadhu Sangha still remains the main principle of progress. Prem is not the end, Prem is the beginning. If you attain Prem, then your next life you'll take birth in Braja as a gopi. But if you don't associate with the Nitya Siddha gopis, then on the full moon night of the Sharad season, Bhagavan Apitara Tri Shardutfulla Malika Vikshuranta Manastakre Yogamaya Sama Upasrita. When Krishna plays his flute and calls all the gopis to the Rasa Leela, when you run, then your mother-in-law will come with a stick and say, "Get in the house," and close the door on you. And you'll be locked in, you can't go. Why? Because you didn't associate with the Nitya Siddha gopis. Because to go to the Rasa Leela, you have to have Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, Mahabhav, Rudabhav. You have to have up to Rudabhav to go to the Rasa Leela. So Sadhu Sangha is not something like, yeah, I have done that now, what's next? Susukam kartamabhyam. The practice of bhakti is eternal. Hearing is eternal. Chanting is eternal. Sadhu Sangha is eternal. So if we don't remain in anugatya, always under the guidance of our Gurujan, our transcendental spiritual authorities, we cannot make progress. So anugatya, this is the key of spiritual life, and especially in rag anuga bhakti. Rag anuga bhakti without anugatya, it's impossible, completely impossible. Vaidhi bhakti you can practice a little, but without sadhu sangha one will become weak. But anyway, you can go to Vaikuntha. But to go to Braj and serve in the Braja Leela, only Raganuga Bhakti can bring one to that stage. Sokali Jagati Mori Kori Vidhi Bhakti Braja Bhava Paiti Nahi Shakti. Krishna said, many people in the world, Sakali said, all the people in the world, they follow Vaidhi Bhakti. But this Vaidhi Bhakti does not have the Shakti to awaken the moods of the residents of Vrindavan. That will only come by the cheering, the satam prasangam lolavirya samvido. Samvid means the Samvid Shakti in this katha. Bhavanti ritkana rasayana. It's full of rasa. This is very important. Take this jewel. This is a jewel, anugatya. And keep it in your heart. This year is the 150th anniversary of Prabhupada Srila Bhakti-tattva Thakur, so for his birthday, I published 2 books. They're on the table there, of the Katha of Prabhupada Srila Bhakti-tattva Thakur that was never translated before. So all new, so many things that you have never heard and could not even imagine. So many treasures in this book, in both of the books. And I've written commentaries also on both books as well. But one of them is very challenging. Very deep philosophical lectures that he gave to a big audience of scholars in the Albert Hall in Calcutta in 1929. And but the other book, we try to cater for both ends of the spectrum. The other book is very simple, even children can read it. Just has 34 short stories from Veda, Vedanta, Upanishad, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam. And but it's very important. Through the medium of these 34 stories, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur is giving upadam. Upadam means the ingredients that we need for our spiritual life to be successful. If, let's say you're cooking something, you need to have all the ingredients, right? If you make halwa, you may have the suji, you may have the ghee, you may have the raisins, you may have some elaichi, but what if you have no sugar? If you miss out one of the ingredients, it's not going to work. So our spiritual life is like that. There are ingredients. So in the commentary, there I have extracted from Prabhupada's lectures there 16 essential ingredients. And we have to collect them. So one of those essential ingredients is anugatya. To be under guidance so that our shraddha can be upgraded gradually as in proportion to our sadhana, our practice. Our adhikar increases, then our shraddha can be upgraded by a deeper katha, deeper association. So, your question, just coming back to your question, because this is all on your question, but just to summarize, When the devotee approaches his guru, at first Gurudev is Nityananda Prakash or Baldev Prakash, up to the stage of asakti. In the stage of asakti, then one will realize, oh, Nikunja, you know Ratikali Siddhai, Yayalide Yuktira Pekshini. Because in asakti, the abhas, the semblance of realization of your own Surup will come. And you can begin to serve under the guidance of Gurudev internally, and then your asakti will turn into bhav. Then sadhana is finished. Sadhana bhakti is finished, now bhava bhakti has begun. And then by practicing more, bhavmaya bhakti will turn into rasamaya bhakti. So, this is the understanding of samasti guru and vyasti guru. Perhaps you can take one more question.
Thank you, Prabhu. You gave this narration of Shamananda Pandit, and we also hear that Hridaya Chaitanya was a little upset after he found out initially about the exchange. And you notice this sensitivity, you could even call it apprehension, that devotees have kind of a fidelity to one community or a guru, they've taken diksha, but then their heart calls them towards shiksha elsewhere. And then there's tension, so we want to avoid aprad, we want to avoid tension, so then they may not follow their heart that's calling them in that direction. So maybe you can give some culture on how to approach that in the appropriate way to not create the tension while also honoring what's there in the heart.
Yes. First of all, don't think that Hridaya Chaitanya became angry because, my disciple has taken reinitiation from Jiva Goswami. Anything like that. This is a misinterpretation. That idea is a misinterpretation. We wear tilak. Tilak is a part of the initiation process. In Diksha there are pancha sanskars, 5 sanskars. Tapa, pundram, tata nama, yagas, mantro yagas, panchada. Anihi pancha sanskara param aikanti hetava. This is the definition of the 5 samskars of Diksha. So the second one is Udva Pundra, that Guru gives tilak. Each one of the samskars actually has a profound significance, which is internal, not only external. But that's another class. Now we're on this subject. So we always wear the tilak, which is given by our Guru. But because he had a different tilak, then it seems like some compromise of the integrity of one's faith in your sampradaya if you make another tilak. So Hridaya Chaitanya, he wasn't envious thinking he'd taken initiation from another guru, or another guru had changed his name, or maybe Jiva Goswami had reinitiated him or anything like that. Nothing of the sort. Only that the tilak, it represents your line, but this was a special circumstance. It was given by Radharani. So even today, in the line of Shamananda Pandit, their tilak is like an ankle belt, like a nupur here. It's not the same as ours. So a guru never thinks that the disciples are his property. In fact, a Sadguru never even thinks that he's a guru. He's not taking from anyone. He's not taking worship, he's not taking money, he's not accepting any service from anyone. If Guru thinks I am Guru and I am taking from others, then he's not a Guru, he's a kangaroo. You know, kangaroos have a pocket here. And they always put things in the pocket. So, a guru, once some researcher from a university in Scandinavia was doing a PhD, a thesis, a doctorate on gurus, and was going all over India interviewing all gurus everywhere from all different lines of traditions. And he wanted to interview my guru, and so he came to me and asked if I could arrange that. And I said, well, let me see your questions. And I looked at them and I thought, okay. So, alright, come. So then I brought him to my Gurudev. My Gurudev was sitting in Seva Kunj with just a few devotees, few disciples. And so the first question he asked was, so tell me, when did you decide to become a guru? That was his first question. And it's like, you made some out. When did you decide to become a lawyer or an accountant or a fireman and a policeman? And my guru said, I am not a guru. I never decided to become a guru. So then, that research, he said, but what about these disciples here? Guru said, they are not my disciples. They are my friends. And together we're making an atmosphere which is favorable for bhajan. Understand? So, the disciple thinks he's my guru, but the guru never thinks I am guru. He thinks, I want to make an atmosphere which is favorable for bhajan. He does not think it even consciously. It is spontaneous. First of all, the preaching of a pure devotee is out of separation from his own guru. When the disciple is young and living at the feet of his Gurudev and serving 24 hours a day and traveling everywhere. I had good fortune to travel from India, then through Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Fiji, Bali, Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, around to Hawaii, over up to Canada, through the west coast, across the east coast, across to Europe, and then Russia, and then back to India with my group. And then traveling and preaching in India also. 24 times around the world. When the disciple is there with Guru and seeing his Guru preaching and serving and assisting in that, then when his Guru disappears, then he cannot stop because he never thinks that his Guru has disappeared. He's gone, he has gone, he's not died, he has not gone. Gurudev is here with me, he's here with me now. So he always feels, I am going everywhere, falling behind my Gurudev. And Gurudev would tell to the disciple, when any seminar or anything, like kirtan is going on, you stand up, explain this verse. Yes, Gurudev, Om Jnana Timarandasya Dhyana, speaking like this. So the Guru trains his disciples how to speak, and then when Guru becomes unmanifest, they cannot stop. And so they continue to that atmosphere of kirtan and harikatha and bhajan is going on. Always. So the preaching of a Sadhguru is not for his own benefit or anything. It's even not primarily for the disciples. It's an anubhav, it's an ecstasy of viraha, separation from his own guru. Understand? That's pracha, actual pracha. Another thing is, Purnamasi Devi, Yogamaya has said, Tunde tanda vini ratin vitanute tandavali labdaye kana koda katam vine gatayate kana bhaye baspriham cheto prangana sangini cheto prangana sangini vijayate savindriyane kritim no jane janita kyadve amrita krishne tivana dvai. The meaning is that when the name of Krishna comes and dances on my tongue, then I feel, alas, alas, one tongue is not enough. I want thousands of tongues. And when the holy name goes from the tongue and enters into the ear, two ears, that's better. But not enough. I want thousands and thousands of ears. And when the holy name enters through into the courtyard of the heart and dances there, then all the senses become stunned. And the devotee goes into samadhi, into trance, like this. So, because the pure Vaishnava, he's chanting the pure name, one tongue is not enough. And so, he gives mantra, so he can chant on so many tongues. The chanting over the disciple is not his chanting, it's the power of Gurudev manifesting. And so it comes, this is the Guru Parampara. It is the flowing current of the nectar of the holy name filled with Prem. So preaching is not, it's not like proselytizing or, doing propaganda and trying to make a really big movement or something like that. That's not what it's about. The pure devotee's preaching is coming from separation from Gurudev and wanting to be in the atmosphere where thousands of tongues are singing the holy name. And incidentally, as a secondary effect, so many souls that get benefited from that. So, a guru never thinks disciples are my property. If a guru only thinks, how can I bring this soul to Krishna's lotus feet? So if another Vaishnava it's a very difficult job. If another Vaishnava will come and help me in this service to that soul. When Prabhupada Srila Bhakti-tattva Thakur, his disciples used to come and give pranam, he used to fold his hand and say, Dasosmi, I am your servant. Because the Guru thinks that, my Guru became unmanifested from this world. He had one form, but now he has so many forms. He's coming to me in many forms to engage me in his service of preaching, this service that he gave me. So Guru sees every disciple is one form of his own Guru and he's serving them with love. So, let's say, my Gurudev used to say, if there is one disciple and the Guru is trying to bring him to the lotus feet of Krishna, and then another pure Vaishnava comes and he's helping. And my Gurudev said, and I'm not even paying him, then I'm happy. He's coming for free, I'm not even paying that Vaishnava and he's helping me bring this soul to Krishna's lotus feet. What could be better than that? Really? It's like a team. If there's a team and they're playing soccer, so there's a ball and all the team play together to put the ball in the net. So one player passes the ball to another player, he passes it to another player, and then that player scores the goal. Yeah? Like that. So Raghunath Das Goswami, Yadunandanacharya gave him Diksha, and then he passed him to Saurabh Damodar Goswami. So Mahaprabhu gave him to Saurabh Damodar Goswami. Saurabh Damodar left this world, he gave him to Gurdada Pandit. He left this world, he gave him to Sanatan Goswami. He left this world, and then Rupa Goswami put him in the goal. This is natural Vaishnava. Traditionally, it was always like this. And anything else, that's something else. I don't know about that. I don't want to know about that. This is the Vaishnava culture and Vaishnava tradition. So, but everything should be always with a great honor. If we hear something from the Shiksha Guru, then first of all one should take permission from Diksha Guru. If one wants to hear or take shelter of a Shiksha Guru, he should beg permission, and Gurudev will say, yes, go and hear, and then he will go and hear, and what he heard, he should come back and also tell that to his Diksha Guru as well. Oh, Gurudev, I have heard these things, and get confirmation also. Shiksha Guru can be several. But even among the Shiksha Gurus, one should be prominent. But Diksha Guru must be only one. And the reason for that is this, that Aliban Jyotishaka Stabdibhuta Kimikaka Prasita Presika Chaiva Sadvida Sevakadama. It's described there are 6 types of bogus disciple. The first one is called Ali, a bumblebee. Just like a bumblebee is just restlessly going from flower to flower. That person who goes to a guru and then another guru and then another guru, but never actually surrenders anywhere, he's bogus. Why? He cannot become free from manodharma. Because he follows one Vaishnava, but when that Vaishnava tells him something that he doesn't want to do or he cannot digest, then he goes somewhere else. Oh, this one is saying what I want to hear. This one is telling me I want to hear about something. But then when he says something that he doesn't like, then he goes to someone else. And also bumblebee is also... So that disciple who meets one devotee and talking to him, and then he's on his way to do some service, but then he meets another devotee and he's talking to him. And then he goes and then he's talking to another one. Like that. So he's he's talking all day to this one and that one and he never does any service. So he's like Ali. So these two interpretations are there of the first type of bogus disciple. So that person, they can never become free from manodharma, the dualities of the mind, because they never sacrifice. They never become separated from the impulses of their past sanskars. And so this is why Diksha Guru should be one, and we should surrender totally to Diksha Guru and follow his order, even though it's difficult and even though we don't want to do it. We have to do it. Otherwise, our consciousness can be never separated from the grip of our previous impressions. Our karma is coming through the internal impressions from this life and past life, keeping us under the shadow of a personality which isn't us. That's not who we are. If you think I am such and such a person from Detroit and I'm from this background and this family and these are my likes and dislikes, and this is not who you are. And this has to be transcended. But it can't be transcended unless we make the complete sacrifice and follow the instructions of one person and give up all swatantrata, all independence. Because this is our disease in the material world. Swatantrata, independence. There is a Vibhu Chaitanya, the all-pervading, supreme, unlimited conscious being. And there is Anu Chaitanya, the minute conscious being. So it is the swabhav, or the nature of the minute conscious being, to be completely subordinate to the Vibhu Chaitanya, to the total consciousness. The tiny consciousness has to be completely subordinate to the total consciousness. And so, that's why Atma Samarpan, surrendering ourselves. Who is the example of Atma Niveda? Bali Maharaj, yes. What does Bali mean?
Strength.
No, Bal means strength. Bali means offering. When you make an offering in a yagya, it's called the Bali. He himself is the Bali. That's why he is the example of Atma Niveda. He didn't give money. He didn't give wealth and all these things. What did he give? Himself. Atma Niveda. So the teaching here is that we have to be the Bali. Our soul, who we are, is the offering. And only when we do that, then the Anu Chaitanya, our minute consciousness, becomes subordinate to the Vibhu Chaitanya, the unlimited consciousness. And then we become free from ahankar, the material ego, in which there is the illusion of swatantrata, independence. So as long as we have the pratagdrisha, that's a good word used in Srimad Bhagavatam by Narad Muni in his instructions to Vyasadeva. Pratagdrisha, the sense of being separate from God. So God has appeared in the form of Guru. We can't be separate from Him. We have to make Arna Kariho Mane Asha Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya. Our whole consciousness has to become completely one with the Guru's Vani, Guru's instruction. There should be nothing else in the mind. Then we give up the swatantrata. That means we give up the ahankar, the material ego, and we join our Gurudev in the divine plane. So, this is why the Diksha Guru has to be one, otherwise we cannot give up manodharma. But once a person has become free from the sense of swatantrata, then they can receive shiksha from other elevated persons who can nourish them and really give the experience of bhakti rasa, the experience, some realization of who it is that we're worshipping. What is Prem? the ragatmik bhav, sneha, man, pranay, rag, anur, all these are words of love. They mean love. But everyone is completely different. It's completely different. In English we just have one word, love. But it's like the Eskimos, they have about 30 words for snow. Right? Because they're expert in all the different types of snow, they just live in snow all the time. So Rupa Goswami has given so many words for love because these are really different types, completely different experiences. They're worlds apart. How will we understand these things? Oh, by hearing. So Shiksha Guru will do all of these things. That means give us the upasya pariskriti, the refinement of our conception of who is our upasya. Radhasham Sundar. And also by hearing the upasaka pariskriti. That means the refinement of a conception of who is the worshipper. Who am I? What is my position in that Leela? So all this will come from the Bhajan Shiksha Guru. So traditionally we see how this went on, and so today is actually the day, Shyamananda Pandit's appearance day, and his life is there. In the lives of the Acharyas there are so many valuable teachings, and this is exactly on this subject, that he surrendered to his Diksha Guru, and his Diksha Guru saw that he needed some further guidance and sent him, particularly in this case because it was actually a case of a different rasa, and sent him to, because some people tell the story that his Guru sent him to Vrindavan, and when he was there he took shelter of Jiva Goswami, and so he was like, oh, he went to another Guru or something like that, and so Chaitanya was angry. That's not, he wasn't angry at all. He's very happy. He actually sent him to Jiva Goswami and wanted him to realize his eternal service in Madhura Rasa. Only the tilak is the sign of your tradition. There was something, some speciality came there. So, it's clear. Anything else? Just always be humble, respect everyone. Always be in anugatya, always under guidance. Don't be independent. As long as we're independent, we can make progress. You know? Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu smrityo kramena rasanama nasini yoja Tistan brajay tadanuragi jananugami kalennayad akilam ittipadesha saram. 8th verse of Upadeshamrita. The essence of all advice is one should spend one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna's name, form, qualities, associates and pastimes. In this way one should engage the tongue and the mind. Don't just chant in your mind. One should produce the sound also. With the tongue and the mind, both should be engaged at the same time. Tishtan braje, one should reside in Braj. Tadanuragi, jananugami, and anugami, be under the guidance of pure Rasic Vaishnavas in the holy Dham. This is the essence of all advice. Upadesha Saram. So we can measure the degree to which our spiritual life is successful by the degree to which we fulfill the conditions of this, the 8th verse of Sri Upadeshamrita. But in this verse, anu is 3 times. Tannama rupa charitanu sukirtananu. Tannama rupa charitadi sukirtananu. Smrityo kramena rasanama nasid niyodya. Tishtan brajetad anu ragi jananugami. Anukulyena krishnanu shriyam bhakti uttama. So the meaning is that bhakti is always, it is called anugatyamai. Nirantaryamai, that means continuous without any interruption. And anugatyamai, under the guidance. The relation of guru and disciple will be there in this world. But in that world there's no guru relation disciple. But anugatya will continue there. So the anugatya has to begin here and it will continue there. And guru and disciple, only guru and disciple here. There, guru and disciple are sakhis. They're only gopis. Friends living in the same village, but they're still anugatya. Like Raghunath Das Goswami is the Shiksha disciple of Rupa Goswami. He's Diksha disciple of the Adunandanacharya, but Shiksha disciple of Rupa Goswami. But in the spiritual world, Rupa Goswami is not his guru. But still, Rakti Manjari serves Radha and Krishna in the Anugatya under the guidance of Rupa Manjari. So anugatya is it?